Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Bree here. So yeah, in today's video we're going to be talking about my modeling experience, how I got into modeling, and some different tips and tricks that I have found working in the industry. I've been a professional model for going on 3 years now. My mother agency is in Arizona, which we'll get into more about mother agencies and different things like that. My first agency was in Arizona, and then I got scouted by an agency in LA. In LA, I'm with Freedom Models. I love them. They're the ones who I work with the most. Storm in London, Freedom in Miami, originally called the Syndical, but my agency here took over. Hefner in Seattle, I believe, Elite in New York, and Cole in Germany. So I have about 5 or 6 agencies under my belt now, and I've been modeling for, like I said, about 3 years. I've been in the industry long enough to teach someone. So as a beginner, here are some tips and tricks that I could share with you about modeling and my experience. So originally, how I got into modeling. So let's talk about how I originally got into modeling. So I was working at a shoe store at the mall in Arizona called Chic, and people would come in literally every single day. Like every time I had a shift, at least one person would come in and say, "Oh, you need to be a model, you're working the wrong job. Like you need to be out on the billboard in front of the store, not working in the store." Like everyone would just have so many little comments to say about me getting into modeling. So I was like, okay, let me give it a try. I wasn't really that into modeling before. I knew I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. Like when I was younger, I definitely loved watching music videos and just the entertainment industry in general. Like my senior year in high school, I was going to go to school for accounting. That was my main focus, actually. It wasn't really modeling. My mom's friend's daughter's best friend in Arizona got with an agency in Arizona and became like a big model and stuff. So she's like, "Oh, you should try out this agency." Like, so we figured out, I went online and we figured out how to like apply and stuff. So they have open calls. So we ended up looking at all the agencies in Arizona. It's only about 3. So I would definitely say look at your local agencies, because it's probably not that many. So it should be easy to like, you know, get a call in or like some way to set up a meeting with them. It should be pretty easy. So yeah, I set up a open call with the agency AZ, which is my mother agency now, and also this other one. But when we went there, I think we went there on the wrong day or something, so I didn't end up doing that one. But I went to the agency in Arizona. I didn't even dress appropriately. I think I wore like a purple shirt with some jeans, and I had my hair up in this little curly poof. But usually you're supposed to wear all black or just some nice long jeans that like they want to see how your body looks, and like a nice fitting, probably bring some heels, and yeah, just pretty plain outfit, simple. Not too much makeup. They want you to come pretty barefaced, probably just like some concealer and a lip balm, you know, or maybe do your eyebrows or something. When I got there, I just filled out this form, and it just asks like my name, my height, Instagram, different hobbies and skills that I have, asks if you have any experience modeling, different things like that. And then they take some digitals of you, which is just pictures of you. They'll do like the knees up, and then full body, and then like you turn profile, and then they do the same thing in bikini. But actually, I think when I did the open call, I don't think I did bikini, but they might ask you to do bikini pictures, because that's what we do for digitals as models. Like every month or so, we do the same thing as what you do at a casting call, and then you have to do bikini pictures as well. After that, I got a call back from the agency the next day, I believe. It was either the next day or the next couple of days, and they're like, "Oh, the team loves you. Would you be willing to like come in and discuss signing a contract with us?" Different things like that. So then I did set that up, and I ended up signing. They sent over the contract through email, and Yami, my mom, looked over it. It was a 3-year contract. Usually your first contract with your mother agency is about 3 years, just so that you can really like develop with them, and they can be pretty hands-on in your career and like, you know, get you to the right places. Because 1 year is not really long enough to really get the ball rolling on someone. A little bit after I signed the contract, we had to set up a shoot. It wasn't really a test shoot because I had to pay for it, was it? But it was just like a professional photo shoot. My agency knew this professional photographer, and he also did the makeup. We set that up. It was, I want to say it was either 300 or 600. The pictures were amazing. At the time I had faux locks, so I didn't have the braids, but I had faux locks, and we did like some different stuff with the locks. But yeah, the pictures were amazing, and we used those pictures for my comp card. So your comp card is what you use when you go to castings and to see different clients when they want to find new faces and stuff. So you'll bring them your comp card, and it has your height, your measurements, you know, bust, waist, and what's the other one, hips, shoe size, and it's just like a front and back, and it has like a couple pictures of you on it, and you show that to the client when you're meeting them. That was the only photo shoot I did in Arizona though. I didn't work in Arizona when I was there. So that's the only thing about like local agencies. They usually don't have as much connections, but I will say the agency in Arizona had a Christmas party like towards the end of the year that I got signed. And I went to that. I didn't know anybody in the modeling industry. I honestly wasn't going to go. I was talking to my brother into coming with me because my brother wanted to get into modeling at the time too. So I was like, you should come with me. We can meet some people in the modeling industry. You know, I just felt like it would be good for both of us to go. So he agreed to come. So we went. It was just me and him. And we went to this like Christmas agency party. And I met a lot of other models that were signed with the agency. And it was a nice like get together at the agency. And I met a few other models that were pretty new. My agent came up to me, she's like, oh, I have somebody who wants to meet you. There's this agency from LA, it's called Freedom. So the scouts were there at the party. So they introduced me to them. They're like, oh my gosh, we love your look. We saw you, we've been like watching you at the party. And we were wondering if you would want to come to LA and sign with us in LA. And I was like, yeah, of course, you know, like, duh. I didn't know much about the agency, but obviously moving to LA has always been like one of my dreams since I was a kid. I just knew I wanted to live in California. So I was like, yeah, this is amazing. And even before, my agent was like, we're glad you came to this party. Like, believe me, this is a great opportunity. So a couple weeks later, my agents connected me with the LA agency, and then we talked about signing contracts and stuff. I signed the contracts, I think it was like a couple weeks later, and then we planned for me to move to LA in January because it was December. It was a Christmas party and stuff. So first week of January, I moved out there. I just packed all my stuff and drove to LA from Arizona. It was about 5.5 hour drive. It wasn't too bad. And I just stayed with my aunt that lives out here for like a month. And then I just figured it out, staying with family, friends and stuff for like the first couple months until I started, you know, getting my checks in and like all that good stuff. And then from then in LA, I was working with Freedom, and that was like my main agency I was in contact with. So I'll talk to you guys about mother agency. Your mother agent is pretty much the first person that signed you. So they're your mother agent. They act as your manager in the modeling industry. They connect you with other modeling agencies in different cities, countries, things like that, wherever they have connections to. They're your main contact between different agencies. So if you have an agency in London, agency in New York, they're the ones that is going to be in contact mostly. Like, it's going to be a three-way contact thing. And they handle all the deals and like the contracts and things like that, and they make sure everything is good for you. If you ever have a problem with one of your agencies, they're who you go to sort everything out. So yeah, now I'm in LA and I'm working with Freedom. So the first couple weeks I was out here, we were doing test shoots. So test shoots is when you shoot with a photographer or a makeup artist for trade. It's usually like just a group of creatives that come together and do a shoot, and it's just for trade, just to have the content, you know. So my first shoot was with a photographer. She's creative directed everything, and another model that was with my agency. So that was really cool. That was like my first photo shoot, getting my feet wet. I was definitely a little nervous, but it was really cool. One after that was with a really big makeup artist out here in LA. Her name is Robin Black. Beauty is Boring on Instagram. So she's a makeup artist, and she also did photos. She did my makeup, and it was like this red lip. I actually have it blown up over here. Let me show you guys, because it is my favorite picture. So this is like my second shoot when I was in LA. So this is my comp card actually. I sent my grandpa my comp card, and he got it blown up into this like big picture. So this is Freedom, and then at the bottom it would have like my measurements, and then on the back it has like another picture. But I need to hang this up somewhere. But yeah, it's my favorite picture. That was when I found out that I love beauty, because it's like just head up. You don't have to really worry about how the rest of your body looks. It's just, you know, head angles. I want to say a week later, I booked my first job for Fenty Beauty. Clap it up for that. Like, first job, Fenty. Came in, you know, it was fire. The crazy thing is, it wasn't even on the call sheet. It didn't say Fenty Beauty. It had like a different company name. So I didn't even know I was shooting for Fenty until I got there. And and they had all the Fenty products and stuff. And then they were like, oh yeah. Then they had Priscilla Ono, who is Fenty's global makeup artist. She was doing our makeup and stuff, and it was just like a whole video crew. And honestly, it's super like nerve-wracking for a video shoot to be one of your first jobs, because a video shoot is like a whole nother level. And then at the time, I didn't even know who Priscilla Ono was. I didn't know she was like this huge makeup artist. I mean, I wasn't like being awkward or anything, but it was just like I didn't know who she was. Honestly, when I first got to LA, I didn't know who most people were. But yeah, so that was a great first job. Honestly, I feel like that would have been like, that's what my dream job. It's still my dream job. I've only worked for them that once, but I do want to work for them again for any of the Fenty things, whether it be makeup, clothing, lingerie, fashion show. Like, book me for Fenty. I'm like, I will be the Fenty spokesperson. So like I started working for a lot of other beauty brands right after that. So I did like Urban Decay, Anastasia, a lot of smaller beauty brands as well. I did like Kate Somerville. But the thing is, a lot of these brands I've only worked with once. Like so you have clients that are regulars that they'll book you like regularly, but most jobs like they only book you once and then it's on to the next. So that's the crazy thing. I guess they just want to have like new faces for all of their jobs and stuff. But I did Urban Decay a couple of times. Another one of my favorites was for NYX Cosmetics. That one's like international. I think that was my first international job or like beauty job. But yeah, I've done a lot. And then I was working for PacSun like that first month as well. And PacSun was a regular client, so I was working with them. I think it was sometimes it would be like every 2 weeks, or it would be like once a month. I'm just trying to think about a job I did that first year. I also did Fashion Week that first year. Fashion Week was crazy because that was my first fashion show ever. But I walked for V-Files and Laquan Smith. It was such an amazing experience. I only did the 2 shows. Well, not even only did the 2 shows. Like, that's really good for your first fashion week. When I first got to New York, it was a lot of, like, as soon as we landed, we have to go to castings and get comp cards. It was just crazy. But the time I went to New York, I had a manager that was managing me. And managers are like kind of a tricky situation when it comes to with modeling. Well, for me at least, because I was brand new. So this manager took me on 4 months or 5 months into my modeling career. She managed like this other bigger model, and I did this job with him, and she happened to be there, and she was like, oh my gosh, like she wanted to take me on and stuff, and she really liked my vibe and just my look and stuff. So she was like, yeah, I think you could do really good. Like, we could talk about management and stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna get into that whole story, but pretty much we started working together, and she got me like connected with Kirk, the owner of Dog Pound, and she got me into my first fashion shows in New York Fashion Week. She was like really connected because she managed this other big models. So that was really cool. But I just feel like the communication wasn't the best, and I didn't really understand how to have both. Yeah, it was just kind of very confusing for me at the time. And it was just like, I was still pretty new into modeling. So I was like, I just need to stick to listening to my mother agent and my LA agency. So that was 2019, was like my first year of modeling. It was such an amazing start for my career. Then 2020 was crazy. But 2020, I signed to my agency in New York. Well, let me go back. When I first moved to LA, and after I did Fenty and stuff, Storm from London found me and reached out to me on Instagram. That's how I was scouted by my London agency. It was actually through Instagram. I connected them with my mother agents, and then that's how we got the contract and all that stuff, signed the contract. And I still haven't been to London yet. So that's the thing. You can have a bunch of agencies and never really work with them. Yeah, it's just a matter of like what markets are good for you and like what's really working for you. So the whole time I've been in LA, work has been consistent. So that's why I haven't really been in a rush to work with any of the other agencies. But Storm, I have been trying to work with like every year. I've been trying to get out there. Hopefully this year will be the year that I get out there, fingers crossed, and I can take you guys on that trip. I've been working, I would say, pretty consistently. Usually I work every week. If not, it'll probably be every couple weeks, or sometimes you might have a slow month where you only work like once that month. That's the thing about modeling, it's kind of up in the air, and that's how you have to kind of measure like what's good for you, what areas are good for you. A girl might do better in New York than she would in LA. LA is more commercial, New York is more editorial, high fashion. It's like every state, every city has its markets and how they market girls, and So yeah, I pretty much just want to tell you guys my experience. Usually most agencies are on models.com, so you can look up if the agency is on there, they're more than likely a good agency. When I first started modeling, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on like how to walk, different exercises, because when I first started modeling, they definitely wanted me to tone up a bit, and I never really knew what tone up or eat clean was at the moment, but pretty much just, you know, don't eat a bunch of fast food and stuff. Try to watch your figure. Make sure you're working out, do yoga, Pilates, because you want your arms nice and tight. Like, you want everything tight. Not necessarily, you don't have to be skinny or anything, but just, you know, feel your best, be in a good shape for yourself. Like, some jobs might have you running. Like, I had a job, I had to run. It was like kind of like an active wear job. So they had me running, but I didn't really eat much. I just had like mango and coconut water. I don't run much. Like, I hate cardio. So I ended up throwing up at the job, which was like super embarrassing. So I definitely need to work on my cardio, I know. I go to a gym that has like personal trainers and stuff. So I definitely get my workouts in. But yeah, obviously the market is getting a lot more diverse. Like, you can be short, you don't have to be a certain height really. Some places are still like that. Like, I feel like more so for runway, they still kind of care about height, but for commercial and things like that, it's more lenient. Yeah, now is honestly the best time to get into modeling. So if you're thinking about it, please jump on it now. Don't let time pass by. I think that's about it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry the sun is going down. I'll make a part 2 to this video. Let me know any questions that you guys may have so I can make sure to answer everything. Yeah, and I hope you guys have a great modeling experience. Go submit to that agency right now. Go put yourself out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. That's it.